as good as it gets in National League Speedway.
So in the pits area here at Isle of Wight Speedway, it's press and practice day. Unfortunately, the weather's turned against riders at the moment, but it's going to clear over the course of the next hour or so, and they'll let the riders get out on track and blow away some of those winter cobwebs. Warriors Chris Widman there with a number 2 race jacket on. See Jamie Sealey here. Jamie's going to be leading the Wizards this year. It's Georgie Wood, new number 1 rider for the Warriors this year. What an asset Georgie's going to be to the Wightlink Warriors. Young Connor King there, Connor of course who comes all the way down from Suffolk to race at the island. It's going to be his first National League starts for any club, and we hope it's going to be a big season for young Connor. The bikes and the equipment for Danno Verge and Ben Morley with his number 19 kit on here, but look at this bike here. This is Danno Verge. Danno's been out on the track already. Wow, and we'll get the boys out on practice. Now, I'm going to start off tonight with one of our new warriors, because Connor King's got to get the ferry back home fairly soon. So Connor, would you like to come up and have a quick word and introduce yourself to our warrior and wizard faithful? Give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as you come to the front. Connor, a speedway rider in the National League, it must be a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling, especially to be with Isle of Wight as well.
You've done some guest bookings for us in the past, away from here of course, but you were here for my first skid a couple of weeks ago, and that was your first look at the small book track, the big track. How did you find it?
Not too bad, not very good today though, because it's a bit wet obviously. And yeah, when I done my first National League race, I actually won it, so it's a good way to start my National League debut.
And you've been racing in the Midland Development League as it was last year for Milton Keynes up at Birmingham. And what do you see of that league? How does the structure go and how did you fit into it?
The National League, MDL is mostly reserves in the National League. So it's good to mix in with them and get used to riding with the reserves. So this year I know where I'm going to stand.
You're going to join Chad at reserve for the Warriors this time, so we've got a new pairing down there at the 6 and 7 positions, but lots of the National League tracks have got new riders down at the bottom end of the team, and it's a great opportunity for you to shine and make a name for yourself as a professional speedway rider going forward.
Yeah, as I said, most of them I've rode against before, so I know they're not new to me, so it's good to mix in with the same riders as last year and the year before.
So next week is the Vince Mapley Memorial Trophy. You've got a ride in that one, and the following week of course with the under-21s, so it's going to be a great experience on the small book track for you before we get going in the National Trophy against Mildenhall in a couple of weeks' time. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, definitely. I've just been waiting to get started, now it's here.
Rob, let's say welcome to Connor King, everybody. Connor King. a word. This is Chaz, by the way, now. Chaz and Dave's over there. Chaz and Dave. Rabbit. So your phone rang this morning at 10 to 8 on the ferry, and it was BBC Radio Solent, and you haven't been off the radio or off the TV since then, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Did that come as a bit of a shock to you that they were contacting you as early as they were?
Yeah.
When you interview people, it's so easy, isn't it? You know, it just flows all the time. But the one guy who did have a little bit of a tumble today was Chad out on the track, and he put in a lot of laps, to be fair. Tell us in a few words, if you would, how you found it out there today.
It's pretty wet, pretty slippery, but apart from that, it was alright.
And I know you were here on Tuesday night practicing as well, and something pretty expensive happened, didn't it?
Yep.
And that was Dad had to get his credit card out again and replace another engine that went kaput, I think.
Yep.
The art of interviewing is that you ask open questions, you see, and they can't say yes and no in reply. So here comes a question for you. Are you looking forward to riding in Germany, but you can't answer yes or no?
Sure.
We're going to have our work cut out, aren't we, this year, trying to get something out of this man. Anyway, look, he's one of the youngsters in the team. There's lots and lots of these young 15-year-old aspiring riders coming through. Chad's been at it for quite a few years now. He's got experience away from this country. I'm sure he's going to be a fantastic asset to the Warriors and the Wizards as we move on through 2019. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome warmly Chad Wirtzfeld. Great to be back. It must have been quite a relief when you got the phone call to say, would you like to come back here?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, I had a really good year last year, and you know, as soon as I got that phone call, I was more than happy to come back and carry on from last year.
Yeah, we talked a few times last year about the improvement that you made, having the chance to ride on a big track like this one, and then also riding in the championship on a smaller track, and it did really help your development.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a shame I didn't do it about 3-4 years ago, and you know, yeah, ever since I joined the club and getting more and more laps in, I've felt more comfortable on the bigger circuits.
Wasn't the best of days today to be out there practicing, but I guess you've got some new equipment for this year and a slight chance of getting it going today, but not really the best.
Yeah, it was more just sort of bedding stuff in and making sure everything's tight, and like I say, the weather wasn't great and wasn't very good for us today, but you know, managed to get a couple of laps in, which was alright.
Next week it's the Vince Mapley Memorial, and you're the holder of that particular trophy. Can you bring the trophy back next week, please, Mum? That would be very helpful. What trophy? But it's a good lineup, and as well as Georgie here, Danny Ayres is coming across, Scott Campos is coming back, so no easy meeting next week.
No, exactly. I mean, you know, it's a great meeting for a great cause and stuff. So yeah, it'd be nice to get the first one in next week and see how we move on from there.
Well, I'm sure you've great welcome back for Ben Morley. He was a super captain for us last year, and this time round he takes up the mantle from day one. Ladies and gentlemen, our skipper, Ben Morley. Great to have you back, Danno. You must be thrilled to be back on the island.
Yeah, I said before the season was over that I wanted to be back, and I'm glad that happened. So I'm looking forward to a good season, and all I can hope is that I out my average by quite a bit, and then that'll be job done for the year.
Now, you were having a spin round this afternoon, and unfortunately, I think you've got the title of the first man off on the island this year. And it didn't look particularly pleasant, I've got to say, as you slid along into the air fence, but you're okay, the air fence is okay, and ready to go again.
What people need to know is Barry told me to test it out. No, I'd done the first couple of laps and I thought, okay, the track's holding up all right. So then I went in the next lap and went a bit harder, and wasn't the right time, it was too early, and just ended up burying myself in the bottom of the fence. That's about it.
I think it's fair to say that season on season you've improved and progressed and improved and progressed around the clubs that you've ridden for, and certainly 2019 is a big year for you. You've had a season here on the island to get used to it, and at the end of last year it was starting to go really well for you here. You must be looking to carry that on through into this new 2019 year.
Of course, I need to up my game. Each year I'm progressing, I'm up my average, but this year I need to finish as a heat leader.
And are you going to finish as a heat leader?
100%.
There you go, you've heard it from the... Get down to Ladbrokes, don't go away. Get down to Ladbrokes and get your money on this man. He's been one of the ever-presents, I think, at my first skid during the course of the winter. It's a fantastic commitment for a man from Kent to come down and do that on behalf of the club, and I'm sure you've got a rousing reception for Danno Verge. Well, here you are on the island, and what's your first impression, Georgie?
Yeah, it's wet. It's alright feeling up. No, it's been alright. Yeah, like you say, you've got a good fan base. We all got here today, dug in, thrown a couple. But no, yeah, we dealt with the conditions that we had. We all got out there, had a practice, had a chat, we had a nice meal earlier, so yeah, bit of team bonding, so yeah, just got to get the business done now.
It's perhaps not wrong to say that you've been a bit of a star in the National League, and I'm sure that Barry and Martin are looking for you to bring that experience through to the island and pass it on to some of the younger guys here, and I'm sure you feel able to do that.
Yeah, no, really successful season last year, and yeah, all that I know, I'd like to pass it on to the youngsters and everyone that needs it really, but no, I just want a safe, successful season, win what we can. I've made preparations for both leagues, so yeah, I'll be prepared for both leagues, plenty of equipment, support, so yeah, hopefully I can see the whole season through both leagues and yeah, do what I can. So yeah, all you can do is go out there, give it your best, you can't take it to heart, you're going to get beaten, you've got to be beat before you win, so yeah, you've got to take it on your stride, but yeah, hopefully to come to National League it'll be more confidence boosting, and yeah, with a good community, the sponsors, supporters, everyone that we've got here, it should be a really good year.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm one guy who's really looking forward to seeing Georgie having him go round the island this afternoon. He did I think about 8 or 9 consecutive laps in all that weather, and he was full gas, mate. He wasn't holding back. So if he does that in the main meeting, well, we're in for a treat. Ladies and gentlemen, will you give a big warm welcome to our number 1 rider, Georgie Wood. Ladies and gentlemen, to say hello and welcome to Ryan Terry-Daley. Nice shirt.
Oh yeah, it's a new one.
Yeah. He only came for the shirt. And Ryan, of course, many of you know that Ryan goes back to New Zealand the course of the winter months, our winter months, and has a few skids out there. And tell us a little bit about your New Zealand season.
Oh, started off, I think my first meeting was just the club one. I think I got 2nd in it, and then had the New Zealands, I got 3rd in that. Ronnie Moore meetings, 2nd in that, and just lots of meetings I do, like drove to the other end of the country, it's like 22 hours, rode 2 classes, ended up, I think I pulled out the final actually, I was feeling crook. And the other one I just didn't even go out in, but other than that, no, it was good.
So back to the UK, last year down at Plymouth, and towards the end of the season down there, you were putting in some really big scores, and I was a little bit surprised that they didn't say come back and join us again, but such are the averages and what have you, they've decided to allow you to come to the island, and this is a place you've been to a number of times. Tell us what you think about it.
I was happy to come here, I'm happy with this choice, so I like it here. I come here, I don't know, I must have come here at least 8 times last year, and I enjoyed it every time, so I thought, well, Vatcher asked me to come here before and I went elsewhere, and I probably should have come here, but you know, you live and learn.
Well, this guy is a guy who is developing, ladies and gentlemen, and if he continues his end of season form last year for the Plymouth Gladiators, as they are now, with us on the island, then it's going to be a very, very shrewd signing indeed. It's his birthday tomorrow, so say a very, very happy birthday to Ryan Terry-Daley. Ladies and gentlemen, with us the Warrior, it's Chris Widman. Hello.
Rob.
Are you all right?
Yes.
Oh, Chad's got on it. I can't make fun of him.
No, we're doing the chat. So, well, You live a pretty hectic life these days, don't you? What with the shop and one thing and another, and snooker and Speedway and chasing the dog, looking after Dad. I mean, full on, isn't it?
Yeah, I need to be paid more.
By the dog?
By anyone who needs me.
Fair to say it wasn't the best ending to last year for you out on the track, because you had your wrist injury that knocked, 6, 7, 8 weeks out of your season, and then you came back to try and finish it off, and it probably wasn't 100%. But this time round, hopefully a better year in prospect, 3.3 average, you must push that forward, surely.
Yeah, I mean, last season just never got going. I struggled before the injury. Obviously the injury then came around. And afterwards I shouldn't have got back on a bike so early. I mean, the only bit of confidence I can take out of last season was I guessed it for Stoke, sort of mid-October, and it was like someone you'd not seen at all last season. So that's at least I was heading into the winter nice and confident. And like I said to you at the end of the season, the main thing about this season is just to enjoy it, you know. Enjoyment hopefully breeds success, and then obviously my own personal target should be met then.
You went out and had a ride round there this afternoon, and you told me afterwards that the track was pretty smooth. Okay, it was a little bit difficult, but it felt smooth to you. That must be a great positive going forward, to think that, you know, you're going to get a great circuit to race on week in, week out.
Yeah, obviously the issues that were not just the Isle of Wight had last year, but many other tracks was obviously well documented by a lot of people, and it's just refreshing to come. Like I did say to you earlier, you know, the rain didn't help at all, but I think a dry small brook will be very, very good to watch the racing on. So no, I was just going to say thanks to all the people that have helped out with the track this winter, you know, to get it in such good shape.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know he's one of your on-track favourites, and certainly he never gives in, and I'm sure that 2019 will be a much better year than in 2018 was. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Chris Widman. Welcome back. Now, I know you don't like doing this, do you? And I think I'll ask you a very simple question to start off with. How do you manage to put 7 riders together for a National League side?
Great difficulty. Apart from all the ones we've obviously got now. Obviously, we've got Ben back and Widders. Danno, where is he? He's up. One old fellow over there.
He was here.
Didn't recognise him without his hat on. And Danno. So yeah, and obviously we've got the youngsters in for the reserves. It took a while to actually get the team right, but now we've got it right, and they're just, yeah, it's good. It's a good team this year. The main priority this year was obviously to have, you know, quite a solid team. Obviously we've got the 2 outright, 1 and 5, and obviously then worked it down. But yeah, it was again hard, because every year a lot of them don't want to come over here because of their journey. They might most of them live up north, so it's very hard and difficult to get riders over here.
But it's you know, we have a great team this year. We've worked extremely hard on sponsorship. I'm pleased to say that we've received more sponsorship than last year, which is great, and that's continuing. And if we continue the crowd growth that we've had, we'll enjoy another good year. There's going to be some exciting stuff in the stands this year that we've put together with Andy Haig, and we can increase our advertising. Hopefully you'll all have seen by now, as most of you come across on the ferry, our little video that we have running on every boat for the next 6 months. And so that's getting our name right out there, and hopefully we're now become a recognised brand with the media outlets like the BBC, and we've worked really hard, both you and I, on trying to get them involved, and they're seeing the result of our efforts, and that's great. So the more that they support us, the bigger our sponsorship opportunity will be, the more fans that will come through the door, and the whole thing snowballs.
So moving on to more pleasant things, and Warriors 2019 and Wizards 2019, what are you looking for in terms of the team and their results and their prospects?
I'm looking for success. I think we've built a team which will give us success. I'd like Barry said, I'd like us to progress through the Knockout Cup, Knockout trophy, National Trophy, and really be knocking on the door of, the top of the league. And I think we've built a team that can probably do that. Yes, there are some stronger teams slightly than us, but it's how you perform on the day and what sort of team spirit, and I think we've got the right bunch of lads that will develop that team spirit and help each other.
Having moved from the Warriors, let's have a look at the Wizards, and the Wizards skipper for this year is going to be Ben Ilsley. Welcome Ben, and welcome back to the island for a second season in the Development League. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, always look forward to it over here. It's a great setup. It's always fun to come over, and I thoroughly enjoy being involved with everything.
And done anything over the course of the winter practice-wise?
Yeah, we've done a bit. It's been pretty mild winter, so managed to get out quite a bit. And yeah, it's the body's feeling it a bit more. I'm getting a bit older now, so trying to get out a bit more regularly, get used to it again. But yeah,
it was a bit tricky out there this afternoon, wasn't it? Having to go around.
I didn't even go around.
No, we noticed that. But yeah, I mean, back in the Wizards, back with the same group of boys again, and good camaraderie, and I'm sure you're looking forward to getting some meetings under your belt.
Yeah, I think I'm really fortunate living on the island, having this on my doorstep, and then being part of a great community club, all the effort being put into it, and having people to look up to and try and aim to be better and improve.
Good evening.
Go easy.
I talked to you earlier on about what happened in the winter, and it's been sort of crash bang wallop for you in the winter, hasn't it?
Yeah, I wrote my van off, wrote a bike off. It's a bit expensive.
It certainly is a bit expensive, but you chose not to go out today because it was a bit too tricky out there, do you think?
Yeah, Aaron didn't want to write another bike off, pretty much.
So I can understand that fully, and when you look out the window, the conditions, it's not easy out there today. And to tell us about Development League, Jamie, because that's got to be your main target going forward for this year and make progress in that. We've got some new tracks to go to, but one that you're going to go back to at Birmingham that you know a little bit about.
Yeah, I've tested the fence there as well, but it is one of my favourite tracks, so I am looking forward to it. And as you said, we've got Swindon and Poole, which are new tracks, which that'd be good.
And back for second season here on the island, and last year was quite good, I think, productive for you. You sort of compounded your skills and got better and better and better, and must be looking forward to going on to 2019.
Yeah, it was a decent year for me. I think I finished something like top, not necessarily top of the averages, but top point scorer for the Wizards, and I've done the same for my MDL team, so that was a bonus, yeah.
And of course the MDL team was Carmarthen, and Carmarthen are now going to be in the combined league as it was, so you've had to throw your hat into one of the rings, and you've chosen to do it with the Warriors. And what was the reason behind that?
Yeah, it was a no-brainer for me, really. I was always wanted to come back here. So yeah, the choice was obvious between the two, but I told them that, and they seemed happy enough. So look forward to racing against them.
Morgan, you've been practicing hard during the winter when the bike goes and the tracks allow it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important to get as much track time as possible now, preparation for the season.
And Speedway was a brand new thing to you about 3 years ago, and from absolutely nothing, that's come through to being quite a passion, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I really didn't think I'd enjoy it. I didn't think I'd want to come again, but as it happened, I got involved, and it's just come from there.
You had to go on the track this afternoon. It was a little bit wet out there, but tell us what you thought.
Other than being a bit damp, yeah, it was really good. I certainly am never one to complain about track conditions. It was perfectly rideable, and I had a good time.
And to me, it looks like you've made a few steps up since the end of last season. Do you feel that progression in yourself?
Yeah, very much so. With the help of Barry, particularly in my first skid, it's been really good to take a few steps forward. Hopefully I won't be taking too many back again as I did last season, but yeah, it's been a good development over the winter.
Hope to see you all again next Thursday when we kick the season off for real, and in the meantime, enjoy your night. I love you lots, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye.